What you're about to see is an example of a direct examination and a cross-examination.
Normally, the opposing team would be the cross-examining attorney, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we'll be using an attorney from the same school.
The witness in question is Detective Reese Barron in the case of People v. Shem. In the case of People v. Shem, Evan Shem is accused of stealing a painting from Marty McCulloch. Detective Barron is the lead investigator for the trial.
Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give will faithfully and truthfully conform to the facts and rules of the mock trial competition?
I do.
Be seated. Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Reese Barron, B-A-R-R-O-N.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
What is your current occupation?
Detective with the Hamiltonia PD.
What are your credentials?
I specialize in crimes concerning artwork and cultural property.
And how did you get involved in today's case?
July 5th, I was contacted to respond to a potential art theft at Marty McCulloch's mansion. I then drove to his residence to conduct an investigation.
How did you begin your investigation, Detective?
I surveyed the perimeter of the structure to locate any break-ins or forced entry, but none were found. This led me to believe that this potential art theft was most likely an inside job.
Over the course of your investigation, did you investigate any suspects?
Yes, sir, I did.
And who did you investigate?
I investigated Evan Shem.
Why did you investigate Evan Shem?
I learned during my investigation that Evan Shem had been serving as a docent the night of the party and would have been the last person in the gallery.
Objection, Your Honor. Information learned through hearsay.
Counselor?
Your Honor, this is not hearsay, as the prosecution is not offering it for the truth of the matter asserted, but to show the effects on the listener, in this case, Detective Reese Barron, and why she investigated Ms. Shem.
The objection is overruled.
How did you begin your investigation of the defendant?
I decided to investigate the defendant on July 7th. I conducted a search of their residence after she gave me the consent to do so.
And what, if anything, did you find in the defendant's possession pertaining to this case?
Well, along with various paint supplies and art books, I did find a canvas painting that looked strikingly similar to the painting that had been reported stolen.
And lastly, Detective, did the defendant ever mention replicating art?
Yes, sir. The defendant admitted to creating a replica of treason.
Thank you. Your Honor, no further questions at this time.
Cross-examination from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, Counselor.
You were called on to investigate the allegedly stolen painting. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
And based on what Mr. McCulloch told you, you made Ms. Shem a possible suspect. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Because she was the last one to leave the gallery?
Yes, and if I may add, she also had the ability to lock up the gallery.
So she was the last one to leave the gallery. Is that right?
That is correct.
But you were shown the guest list, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
So you were aware that there were over 200 guests who attended this party. Am I right?
You are correct.
And these 200 people had access to the gallery in the McCulloch mansion. Is that right?
Well, that's not entirely correct, Counselor.
They could view the paintings in the gallery. Isn't that right?
Yes, they could.
More specifically, Detective, those 200 people could view the painting Treason, which was in the gallery. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
But Detective, out of those 200 people, the only person you suspected was Miss Shem? Yes or no?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. Your Honor, no further questions.
Does the prosecution have a redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Detective, Was Evan Shem the only person investigated?
No, sir. Evan Shem, I personally investigated Evan Shem, but the department also investigated other guests from the gallery, but found no leads.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions. May the witness be excused?
Yes, you may.